Hi, I've got an art show coming up in a primary school. It's a massive task and I thought I'd let you know how I was going with the planning and how I went about planning it. The first thing I like to do is start with a theme. I wanted to make this theme about storytelling, and I thought, what does this Generation Alpha, what do they really get into? Adventure games. So I've built the whole thing about the pretense of storytelling, but actually with the theme adventure game. Now, I got my classes to come up with these things up here because they know all this from their English classes. So every good story needs a character. So we started off creating characters. And so our first art piece for the year was a wooden character. The second thing I asked the kids was, where is their story? And of course they all know about a story setting. So in an art context, we talked about that being a landscape or a map or somewhere they needed to journey. So some of the kids did treasure maps, some of them did grid maps, and some of them did landscape paintings, depending on which year level. The kids then told me from their prior knowledge that every story needs a dilemma or a problem to overcome. So I took all the input from all the different classes, all their different ideas, and put them into the melting pot, looked at which ones were coming up quite often, and came up with what our dilemma for our story concept was going to be. We also had a villain or someone who was going to be an obstacle in that, so we came up with a character, and the kids again decided who that was going to be. And we have a giant teddy bear in the art room, and so he was going to become that character dressed up. So there was a nice connection to our classroom. And then there was the obstacle. So I wanted to create a physical obstacle, and I knew, because we'd done some Indigenous art, that I wanted to create a river, because where our school is right near a river. So I wanted to bring that locality into the story as well. And then we had the solution. So the whole story concept is about a little character who's too small to overcome his fears. So he goes on a journey and he has to use visual arts to create his solution. So he decides that one way that he can become bigger is to travel to the land of shadows, where the small little characters can become big through an illusion, an optical illusion, and using shadows. We invited an Indigenous group to the school, and they did some workshops with us in visual arts, and we also had a shadow puppet theatre come to the show as well to help us with the Land of Shadows ideas for the kids constructing their shadow puppets in the Land of Shadows. So the story is that you take your wooden character through the different levels of the art show and the game, and in the next video I'll start to talk to you about how I mapped that out in the venue, and then started breaking that down into the different projects that we decided to do with each year level. So join me on this journey. I am very exhausted. I've got this art show coming up, but I'd love to share with you my process. So tune in next time. I'll see you soon.